as you know, I went to the garden centre yesterday, kind of impromptu, I guess. I just kind of went there on the way home from my parents' house. And in the garden centre, I got Mini Vlad, or I've decided I'm going to call him the Lads, because then we'll have Vlad and the Lads. And I guess now Vlad is a dad, so an adopted dad, but yeah, Vlad's a dad now. That's great. But this was another plant that I just couldn't leave behind because I've just watched so many videos on them and they're just so cool, and I couldn't, yeah, I have a problem. I couldn't leave it behind. But anyway, this is Nepenthes, a pitcher plant. Isn't it beautiful? So on the pot you can see it says Dionia mix. It's not Dionia because Dionia are Venus flytraps. This is a Nepenthes, and unfortunately I didn't get to find out what they are, but I've been doing some research onto what variety they are, and I think that they're Nepenthes Sanguinea. Sorry you guys, it's not pronounced Nepenthes Sanguinea, it's pronounced Nepenthes Sanguinea. I'm just thinking of sangria, so I'm sorry. Which are really quite fast growing Nepenthes, and they're intermediate. So you have highland, lowland and intermediate Nepenthes, and they each have slightly different requirements as to how you can make them thrive. But in general, they all like warm, humid and bright conditions all year round. They need poor nutrient soil, so you can get the stuff that I used in my repotting of the Venus flytrap in the Death Cup video. I just use a carnivorous mix that I buy in a bag from the garden centre, and that seems to work fine. But yeah, really low nutrient soil, organic peat and organic perlite if you can, work well. As a general rule for carnivorous plants, yeah, and only water it with distilled water as well, because if you don't, you are going to kill your plant. It's the easiest way to kill them is by giving them the wrong soil and the wrong water. Yeah, they also don't like to be kept too wet, so like Venus flytraps, often people like to stand them in water, just in like a tray of water, like maybe an inch or so, depending on the size of the pot. With Nepenthes, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to make sure that the soil is always moist, not sopping wet, not standing them in water, but definitely keep them moist. So yeah, this particular type of Nepenthes, the intermediate type, I'm sorry about the light, I'm in front of the window and it's really sunny right now. This type, the intermediate type of Nepenthes, they can acclimate to lower humidity, which is really good for growing on windowsills, or if you're in a less humid climate, like in the UK, it can be really humid, and it has been really humid recently, but it's not like that all the time. And they do enjoy humidity about like 50%, like Venus flytraps, they like about 50% humidity as well, and temperatures of around 20 to 35 degrees Celsius or 65 to 95 Fahrenheit, and lots of bright indirect light, if not direct light, for maybe 4 to 6 hours. But obviously watch and see if they're enjoying that or not, because not all Nepenthes species like to be in direct light, and you'll be able to tell if they're not enjoying it. The leaves will tell you that they're not enjoying it. So yeah, this is my Nepenthes Sanguinea, we think, because of these nice hairs on the front, and it's got a nice green peristome. So if I can just show you, this is its biggest picture I'm showing you here. It's got the green peristome, that's this top bit here, this is the peristome, and it's got a lid, and then this is the pitfall trap. That's what it's called, a pitfall trap. And that's probably not the technical name, but that's the type of trap that it is. And what happens, you see there's one growing here, it forms a leaf, and then it forms like a tendril, and these eventually swell into these tiny little pitches. And in fact, there's this one, this little one. He's his lid's not opened yet, so he's not finished fully developing. But they are really, really beautiful plants. They just look really exotic, I think. They're so incredible. And how they work is basically they secrete a really sweet nectar, and it draws the insects to it. And they basically crawl in through the hole there to drink the nectar. But the inside of it is really slippery, and this peristome area, that lip of the trap there, that makes it really difficult for the insect to crawl back out again, so it ends up slipping into the trap. And I'm not sure if you can really see, but there is liquid in the belly of the traps, and the insects drown in that liquid, and then the trap secretes enzymes which digest the insects, and then it draws the nutrients from that. So yeah, that leads us into the next thing about why they eat insects. So basically carnivorous plants, whether they're Venus flytraps, sundews, or Nepenthes, any kind of carnivorous plant, they have three things that differentiate them from normal plants. And they're different because they have a means of trapping and killing prey, like the jaws of a Venus flytrap or the pitches on the Nepenthes. They have a means to digest and absorb the nutrients that they get from the insects. So for this it will be the enzymes. Well, in Venus flytraps it's enzymes that do the digesting there as well, and they must benefit from the consumption of that prey. So basically they have to get the nutrients from it, and if that helps them, then they've benefited from that. So in Venus flytraps, once they catch a fly, there's often a surge of growth that follows that. And it's because they grow in typically really poor soil, which means they have to supplement the nutrients that other plants would get from soil. They don't get that, so they supplement it through insects, and that is really amazing to me, I think. So yeah, that's basically it, I suppose. It's a really beautiful plant. I will not be repotting it just yet because I only just got it, and I think it's best to leave plants a little while before you repot them. So yeah, I'll be leaving this one for a little while. But yeah, she is absolutely beautiful, and I cannot wait to see her put out more and more pictures. So yeah, thanks very much, and make sure you like the video and subscribe to Plant Life Forever 69. Thank you very much. Goodbye.